Hello, welcome to the channel. It's been a while since we've done an oil change on a side-by-side or an ATV. Today we're going to be doing an oil change on this 2026 CFMOTO ZForce 950. It's the Gen 2 model. I've never done an oil change on one of these yet, but before we go any further, I just want to mention one thing really quickly. A lot of people believe, or are led to believe, that you cannot do your first oil change or your first service on your new side-by-side or ATV. They believe that you have to take it to the dealer. A lot of people believe that, and they will scare people into thinking that. They think that it voids your warranty, which it doesn't. That's totally false. It's against the law for a dealership to void your warranty if you do your own service work, whether it's the first one or the other ones after that. What I would do though, if you're going to do your own work, is document it. Write down the date, record the service that you did, the mileage, just keep track of everything. But it is totally legal to do your own stuff and you will not void your warranty. I'll leave some documentation down below in the description of this video from the AMSOIL website, and I'll also leave documentation from my province of Ontario here in Canada. You can look it up anywhere in Canada, the US, anywhere. There's documentation letting you know that you can do your own work and it won't void your warranty. So enough of that being said, let's get started on changing the oil on this 26 CFMOTO ZForce 950 Sport. All right, so when you get to this part here that's behind the back fender here, it has to be removed because you need to get access to your oil filter. Or even if you're changing your transmission fluid, your dipstick's behind there as well. So this plastic here cover has to be removed, and it's just held on by these plastic tabs. It's fairly easy. These plastic tabs can be a little annoying. So what I do is I put just a little squirt of AMSOIL MP metal protector. It's a lubricant as well. I just put a tiny little spray because usually these get all dusty or full of mud. You could use WD-40 as well. And then I have a tool like this, and I get in behind here, behind this first, the center pin here, and I just play with it until I can get behind it and it'll pop right out. If it doesn't, you could also get a small screwdriver like this, and that just loosens things up to get, so you can get your pliers in behind. There's also a tool that's made for this. I've never really had much luck with those, but yeah, so what I'll do is I'll just get in here with this tool here, and I might have to pry that open just a little bit more. Yeah. So what I'll do is get in here, push it out a bit, and then push that backing part so you can get the center pin out here. It's kind of tedious, and it's a good thing there's not too many of these things. Now I think we can get in there. So I can get in behind here with this tool here. You can just pull on it and it comes right out. So there was actually 6 pins, and there you go, 6 push pins. This drops out of your way now. Now we'll just pull it straight out because of that bottom one. It just pops right out straight. Actually, there might be another one right here. Yep, there's one more of these little buggers right here on the bottom. There we go, we pulled that pin out. And that, see how nicely that drops? Now we just pull straight out. See how the pin just goes straight into that rubber grommet. Now you can see we have access to the oil filter cover. There's 3 8mm bolts we have to undo, and much easier access now. For future reference, we're only doing an oil and filter change on this, but your transmission dipstick is right in front of this cover right there. You can see the white dipstick right there. Okay, so what I've done so far is I've started the engine, let it heat up a bit so that the oil drains out better. I let it sit a little while first. We're going to go underneath and we're going to remove the oil drain plug. You're going to need a 19mm socket. I'm not sure if I need an extension, but I brought one anyway, and our ratchet. Your drain pan as well. We're going to remove the dipstick for the motor oil, and that allows gravity to let that oil drain even better, quicker. All right, so like I said, 19mm, and I do need the extension on here. So we're just going to go ahead and loosen it. All right. All right, so we have that loosened. And there's going to be a washer that's going to come down with it. If it doesn't, that means the washer is stuck up there. Crush ring, I should call it. And here comes the oil. There we go. Keep your bolt in your hand. You're going to need it. And we'll let that oil drain. So I have the drain plug here. There's a magnet in the middle of this drain plug. And if there's any metal shavings, it'll show. There's nothing there. Okay, good. Not really anything there. It wouldn't matter anyway. I mean, normal engines, when they're first turned over and used, there's always going to be a bit of metal shavings because it's all metal, steel working parts in there. You can see the magnet in there. This one was very clean, but it only has 500 kilometers. There won't be much. Don't worry about it. It's normal if there is any shavings. That's what I meant to say. So this here is the crush washer that comes from the factory. But we're going to put a new crush ring on this. A different kind. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, now we're going to undo these 3 8mm bolts off the oil filter cover. And there's going to be a rubber O-ring in behind it. Actually, they're not very tight. And we got one left to do. And we're just using a small ratchet. I'm going to grab another catch pan or a rag to put down in here because some oil will come out of there. So you could even stuff some paper towel in there. So we're going to undo these bolts. They're small. There, you can see it's loose, it's turning. And there goes the oil. And the O-ring didn't come off, so you'll have to reach in and grab it like that. There's your O-ring. We'll clean this up. When I pull that filter out, more oil will come. I'm just going to go for it. I'll clean up after. Here we go, more oil. So there's our filter. So I went ahead and I went and got myself some paper towel because I like to clean this out. Just going to stick my hand in there. Fingers, I should say. And just mop it up. We'll take our O-ring off and we're going to clean our O-ring up. This O-ring is in good shape still, so we're going to reuse it. Some people would say, well, I have an oil kit where the O-ring came with it. Well, then change it then. If you don't have a kit with an O-ring, don't worry about it because this O-ring is probably good. And you can order these anyway on Amazon if you can't get one with your kit. And then we'll clean this up. So like I only use AMSOIL. I use the best of the best when it comes to motor oil and lubes. So I use AMSOIL. AMSOIL does not come with a kit for the CFMOTO. You can get an oil change kit for Polaris and Can-Am currently. They are working on it, I believe. So let's hope that they do get kits for all brands. But let's say you have a CFMOTO like I'm doing here. Well, I want the best oil, but it doesn't come with a kit. No problem. Order the oil that you need. You can even get your filter on there if you want to. But you can also get your filter on Amazon, and those filters come with the O-ring. Now you may be thinking, well, I don't have a new crush washer. We got a solution for that too. Hang on a second. Since you're going to be doing oil changes on your own, you're going to need more than one crush ring. You're going to need several. Here you go. You can get your copper crush washers right off of Amazon. You get all different sizes, 200 pieces, like for a few bucks. Can't go wrong. So this is all clean. What I like to do is put some fresh oil on my O-ring. And I'll just rub it around the O-ring like this. And we'll put that on there first. We're done with this. Now we can put that to the side. We got our oil filter. I got this one on Amazon. You can get 2 of these and 2 O-rings for like $30 Canadian. Sometimes you can find them cheaper. Now we need a new washer that matches this one. Okay, so we got a drain plug back in. Now I'm just going to tighten up the drain plug with our new washer, crush washer. Yeah, the drain plug is 18.5 foot-pounds. But if you don't have a torque gun, just tighten it up, but don't over tighten. Make sure it's snug, but don't over tighten it and don't leave it loose. But 18.5 foot-pounds will do the job. Now we're going to put our oil filter cap and O-ring back in place. Just be careful when you're putting the cap that your O-ring doesn't move. It should move. I put like a little oil film on there. It'll stick better. Now we're going to add our filter, new oil filter. So the open end goes in and the closed end will be on the outside. And it'll fit right over that little nub in there. And you just push and it stays in place. You'll feel it slip over that. You'll feel it slip over like this. Now we'll go ahead and put our O-ring or our filter cover back on. And that's in place. We'll start threading our bolts in place now, the 3 bolts. And make sure you're always kind of keeping some pressure on that cap so it doesn't move. You can finger tighten your bolts all the way. That'll hold it in place anyway. So I'm going to grab my ratchet and I'm going to tighten them up. I think it's a 7.5, 7.3 foot-pounds. So just go back in here with our 8mm socket and our ratchet. Snug these 3 bolts up. Again, don't over crank them. Like I said, it's like around 7.5 foot-pounds, 7.3. I'll just do it by hand. I've done lots of this stuff before. I know what I'm doing. There we go. I don't have a torque wrench this small. There we go. They're tight enough. So now that is done, we can add our oil because our drain plug is tight. And if you're not sure if you did anything, just double check everything. All right, for this application, we're using AMSOIL 100% synthetic 10W40 motor oil for ATVs and UTVs. This 2026 CFMOTO ZForce 950 Gen 2 can take 5W40 or 10W40. What will be the difference? The 5W40 is for cold climates, like probably colder climates than where we live here in Ontario, Canada. So a 10W40 will do the job for sure. If I was up north really far, like Yellowknife or something, I would definitely use a thinner oil, which is a 5W30. But we're in a warmer winter climate here. 10W40 is sufficient enough, but you can use either one. Okay, we're going to start adding our AMSOIL 10W40 to this engine. So I have this funnel here and I zip tied it up at the top here so it doesn't collapse on me, like fall down while I'm putting oil. It's happened before. We don't need that ever happening again. So we're just going to pour slowly. Always make sure your drain plug's in before you do this. Not only am I an independent AMSOIL dealer, but there's a reason why I use AMSOIL. I'm using AMSOIL because other brands say they're 100% synthetic. Like AMSOIL says they're 100% synthetic, and they are. Other brands say they're 100% synthetic, and they're not fully synthetic. So that's why we only use the best. I used to use CFMOTO motor oil in my machines as well. And then once I learned more about motor oils and AMSOIL, that's when I decided to switch over to AMSOIL. And I would never put anything else in my machines now. So this will take about 2.6 liters. So this is 1 liter. We're going to add the next one and then we'll top up the other half a liter with another bottle. So I can't tip my bottle. My funnel's a little too long. So I'm just going to swap out the funnel and we'll put a shorter one in. Always make sure your funnel is clean too. Because if you have a funnel you've used before, it may have a little bit of an oil film on it. Collects sand, dirt, whatever, floating around your garage. So make sure your filter is clean. You don't want anything contaminating in your oil. Okay, we're on our final half a liter. Look at that golden clean AMSOIL going in there. Okay, we added our oil. Everything's snugged up. We're going to go and start it up, let the engine run, let that oil circulate through the engine, through the filter, and then we're going to shut it off, let it sit for a bit, check our oil level and top up if we need to. I got a feeling we might need just a drop in there. We're not sure, but look how beautiful this machine is. I'll pull it outside after. Look at that, black on blue, or blue on black, I should say. Great looking machine. So we'll fire it up and let it run for a minute. All right, remember I was talking about that rubber grommet down at the bottom? We're gonna put this shield back in place. This part here goes into that rubber grommet. We're just gonna give a little squirt of MP, AMSOIL MP. There we go. And we're gonna push that straight into that grommet. There we go. And we're gonna fit this back into place. There we go. Everything's back into place. We'll just put our push pins in now. So we'll throw one here in the middle, push it in. We'll put these two top ones back into place. All right, hopefully you can see that. Here's your dipstick. This is your minimum line. This is your full line. You want your oil, at very least, to be in between or above this minimum line, but in between these two. But you like to be at full. You like to have it full right up to here. So we're going to check our oil now. And you just rest it on top of there like that. You don't have to thread it in. And I think you can see that oil is coming to about right underneath that line here. So I'm just going to put another drop in there and it's good. Okay, we'll check it one more time. And you can see it's right at the line now, right there. Perfect. So we'll wipe this hole here, just make sure it's clean. And we'll put our dipstick back in, snug it up. And this oil and filter change is complete on this 2026 CFMOTO ZForce 950 Sport.